Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one is going to be on the newly redesigned JBL, Justin Bradshaw Hawk. Um, I can tell you he is a lot of fun. I wish I had him. I don't get to keep him. After this preview, he goes away from my account. He has two links. He has the APA link, red moves start with 2 more move points, and the Attitude Era, gems do 10% more damage. He has the one gear, the Hawk gear. They also increased his trainer ability. Now at 9k, he adds purple gem damage as well as destroying 4 gems, and at 12k, that goes up to 15% more purple gem damage as well as destroying 4 gems. So he is a purple destroy trainer, which is very handy, and he gets that increased buff to the purple gem damage. So obviously anyone destroying purple gems, that buff is going to help as well. Um, Normally I do a 3-star, 4-star, 5-star build set, and I feature all of the moves. This time I'm not going to use 2 of the moves because I feel like they don't make a lot of sense for the other options you have. So I will show them right off the gate. I'm not going to use his 5-star move, which is the JBL Bomb. It's 12 MP, finisher, purple move, deals 70k damage and gain 5 red MP. I'm also not going to use the Clothesline from Hell. That's a finisher, 12 MP, deals 70k damage and gains 6 blue MP. The reason I don't feel that I should use these moves is you're blowing up most of the board most of the time, and you don't need them, and they end the turn. So if I'm going to end the turn, I want to use the sub that leaves these massive leech gems in. So the first build set we're going to look at, you can use at 3-star. It's going to feature the Bear Hug submission move. Place 3 submission gems and do 11,000 damage for 4 turns. The remaining submission gems turn into leech gems of strength 179,000. You heard that right. It's a leech gem of strength 179,000. You are only making 3, but it's a twofold purpose to this. If you don't finish them right away, you can sub them and get their MP down and give you a chance to beat them without taking a bunch of damage. Plus, those leech gems, when you connect, are massive heals and damage, because that's not just 179k heal, that's also 179k damage on 1 gem. We're going to use the Eye Poke, 6 MP, deal 30k damage, and swap a 2x6 random area into purple gems. And the Last Call, deal 26k damage and modify a 3x6 random area into row break gems. One of the other great things about JBL, he doesn't need rare trainers to be very, very good. We're going to run with Lawler for the blue MP, get started turn 1. Slick Rick for 20% more damage. You could use purple damage. You could use dual colors since we're blowing up a bunch of the board, hopefully. I'm going to use Slick Rick. Lacey coming in clutch as a trainer again. Purple gems do 20% more damage. Green gems do 20% more damage. And then for this one, I'm going to run Rhea Ripley, 20% more chance for blue gems on the starting board. That way, even more likely to recycle the blues, although that hasn't been a problem. And I ran a bunch of matches with this card. This card is very good. I didn't get even close to losing with any moveset I tried. So let's get in here and take a look at him. And I'm going to run him on the road against Bruno. We do have the class advantage for 25% more gem damage, but Bruno is strapped up, so that will more than negate that. His defense is 50% gem damage, so he's still at quite the advantage. He's strapped, so let's get in here and take a look at him right away. I gotta say, this is an amazing redesign. I really like this card. I wish I had it. If I had it, I'd be leveling him right away. But we'll get some runs in here, and I'll give you my final thoughts at the end. So low charge moves, a 5 MP and a 6 MP for the blues. So he is perk proof in feud. You'll be able to start turn 1. I do have starting MP +2, and matching gems gives 1 more color. So I do have that going for me. So you're going to start off with the Last Call. Drop all your row breaks, and then You're going to do the eye poke and hope you connect, which most of the time you do. Sometimes you do miss, but it's not the end of the world when you do. And you're going to only catch one of them. And this is why I like having the sub. If we had the finisher, we'd have no delaying or stalling tactics available to us. But because we got the sub, we could do that. And I'm going to go ahead and use the sub. If I had a blue match, I might consider that, but I'm going to use the sub here. And I do like that for the preview here, I did miss this row, because he doesn't always need to hit to still be very good. I like putting the gems either on the edges or the top and bottom, depending on which moveset I'm using, because it's way more likely to keep those leech gems intact. Unfortunately, Bruno did get his blue match, so that's kind of a bummer there. That's okay. We're ready to go again next turn. Taking a little bit of damage there, but I want you guys to notice something. I have a leech gem here and a leech gem here. Watch what happens with this row break. I healed completely to full. So there's another reason why I like the sub. Unfortunately, that one covered the other leech gem that was there, but we are full life, so let's see if we connect this time. Don't, but get a nice cascade. Decent damage. He's fully strapped, like I said, but we're fully loaded. Again, I want to keep my leech gems on the edges. Better chance of them not going away. So when I blow up the board, hopefully I can hit a couple of them. It's also harder for the AI to break them. So that broke all 3 leech gems. And watch how hard... I won't show you, too bad. Because the leech gems themselves would have been like 500 and some K damage. So that's literally about as bad as he can play. Missed on the first 2, and we went against a fully strapped opponent, got all of his moves off, and we ended full life. And that literally, I probably done 50 matches with him. That is the worst match I've had as far as getting my matches and hitting things. He's pretty unstoppable, and he can be very quick too. So let's take a look at the 4-star. It's almost the same. It's the same kind of idea behind it. The move charge, let's just switch them out here. So we're going to pop in the Big Boot 5 MP red move. And we're going to pop in the Flowing DDT 6 MP red move. So instead of row breaks, we're now making columns. Deal 26k damage and modify a 6x3 random area into column gems. Flowing DDT, deal 30k damage and swap a 6x2 random area into purple gems. And again, I'm going to keep the sub. That's my preference over the finishers. I like those leech gems. So we're going to make a couple changes for the trainers. Instead of Lawler, we're going to bring in Sting for red MP. And we're going to bring in Drew. So here you have options. You can use Drew. He adds more column gem damage. If you have Trish, you could use her. I do have Trish. Striker Trish, column break gems do 50% more damage, but she's more rare than Drew, so I'm gonna go with Drew for the preview. And really that fourth coach slot here is kind of open to who you have that fits the situation the best. So let's get in here. And take a look at it again. So again, same principle. You're dropping the columns instead of the rows, and then you're blowing the board up. Again, you can sometimes miss, but most of the time you're hitting. Obviously, as you're blowing up a bunch of the boards, JBL is going to be a prime candidate for Fury. So there you go. We got the whole board. Going to get a full recycle. And on an unstrapped opponent, that would have been about 350k damage. As it was, we did quite a lot. Again, this is a great time for having the sub. And because the way it's set up, bottom and the top is kind of the best spots to pick for them. Also, the AI doesn't break loot gems very often, so I like to pick those. And try and get a little bit of variation where you have your gems at. Just gives you a better chance to connect any of them. Because if you connect just one, that's doing 180k more damage, which is a lot. And we drained his MP, so he has no chance. We did overwrite one of the leech gems, but as long as we get a decent connection here, there's a good chance we're gonna hit at least one of them. We're gonna get both of them. So he had 445k left. Boom, completely dead. All of his life gone like that, and we're full health again. And we are charged and ready to do it again. So again, JBL, crazy good. So much flexibility on trainers, on coaches, on move sets. Let's get into his next one, which I call his Tricolor Madness. This kind of makes it a little bit easier to not miss. You're pretty much going to blow up the board every turn. Not quite as much damage, but incredibly consistent. So we're going to bring in the eye poke. You could use the eye poke, or you could stay with the flowing DDT. It doesn't matter. It's really your preference. I don't use Lawler as much in feud, so I thought I would use Lawler for this. And then we're going to bring in the last call. So both of the 5 MP moves are in there. That's the column break and the row breaks. Again, we've seen them before, so I won't cover them again. And we're going to leave Sting, and we're going to add Lawler. So they'll both be ready turn 1. There are a lot of variations in ways you could run this with trainers and stuff. I'm going to leave Drew for the column jam damage, and obviously going to leave Lacey. So let's get in here and give this one a look. I don't know if you're able to hear it, but my cat has decided he's going to do his best to knock everything over while I'm doing this preview. So drop your columns. Ooh, not very many reds on this board. Drop your rows. And now it's going to be really hard to miss when we hit our next move. Although we did manage to not hit, and boy did we not hit. We didn't get hardly any blues or reds. That's a big miss. We'll go with this. Okay. Again, I think this is a good example of why I like having the submission in there so much. Because not only are you slowing them down, but those leech gems are massive heals. So that's a 300k 300k damage there, and he's not even strapped. Alright. And let's see if we get a whole board blow up this time. Most of the time with the dual move, it was blowing up the whole board. So let's see if we can do that here. There we go. Big damage, full recycle. Bruno's not getting out. Again, that was probably about as bad as that one can play too, and still, you know, winning easily. So now we're gonna go to a sub build, and I kind of like this one. If I had the right trainers, I think I'd like the last one more, but I don't. So I'll show you what we're gonna do here. We're gonna run both of the 6 MP moves and bring the sub back in, so we can generate a lot of purples and be recharging that sub a bunch. So the eye poke, the bear hug, and the flowing DDT are coming back in for us. And we're gonna run Sting. You could run Lawler too, it really doesn't matter. Just for variety, I'm gonna go with Sting on this one. And then since we're doing a lot of purple gem damage, gonna go with Tough. You could also go with Trickster Rock. There's a bunch of dual MP guys. You could still keep Slick Rick if you don't have a good purple one. And yeah. Oh yeah, I gotta change one more. I gotta put Nikki in. Again, the last coach slot is pretty wide open for whoever you want. I'm going with Nikki just to add a little more damage to the sub. Now it's doing 17k for 4 turns, so get a little more damage there. So we're going to get the big purple area turn 1 and the sub turn 2. And then by then, hopefully the eye poke, or the eye poke is ready to fill the sub again. But we're also going to have the leech gems on there, so... $150k, not bad. So this one, I like, instead of necessarily the top, bottom, or sides, I like hitting the loot boxes and then kind of keeping them somewhat middle-ish, so hopefully there's a better chance that you're going to hit one of them on your 2x6 moves. Most of the time, if you place them right, I've been able to keep 3 on the board, all 3. So we got one of the leech gems, and you can see 320k damage because of that leech gem. And we're full health. Pretty solid build. Those leech gems are crazy. I love them. Really fast win, really easy win. And so we're going to jump into the second sub build now. And I do want to throw a caveat out there. If I had 15k Vince for 2 purple MP or APA Farouk for 2 purple MP, I would be running that instead of Tough. And the sub would be ready to go turn 1. And I kind of feel like this is the really, really probably money build for him, along with either of those first 2 I did. Because you'd be able to start the sub turn 1, drain their MP, get the leech gems out, and you'd be going to town every turn after that. So you'd have full control of the board. So we're just going to swap woods in. I'm going to keep everything else the same. And like I said, it would be ready to go right away if I had APA or a 15k Vince. Instead, it'll be ready turn 2. But you can use your imagination. Basically, everything we're doing would be a turn faster if you had one of those 2. Would lose a little bit of purple gem damage, but it doesn't matter that much. And the nice thing with this is either a red or a blue match is going to get you ready to go like every time. So again, trying to keep them somewhat separated. Loot box gems the AI doesn't usually go for, so should, well, a little unlucky there. Another thing I want to call out is if you strap him and put the all heart plate on him, that does, after a sub, purple gems do 100% more damage for 2 turns. So his purple gem damage would get doubled there. So I think that's really the play for this build set, would be the all heart skill plate. With Fury gems on this guy and the all heart skill plate, with the flexibility in his moves and his trainers, with how fast he can win, how much he heals, I think this is one of the best tricksters in the game now. I have no problem saying I think he's a top 3 trickster. I'm going to catch that leech gem. Big hit, 346k. And we're full life. So there you guys go. The new JBL. Really fantastic card. Great addition to the tricksters. I wish I had him. Hopefully I can get him. I'd love to know what you think in the comments. Again, I know I didn't run the finishers, but they just don't make sense to me given how powerful the leech gems are on the sub and how much it buys you time if you don't finish them right away. So I just feel like the sub is better to go with. I'll show those moves again just so you guys can see the moves again. The finisher, the clothesline from hell, 70k damage and gain 6 blue MP. And the JBL bomb, 70k damage and gain 5 red MP. Like I said, guys, I probably played at least 50 matches, and certainly in most of these matches, he played probably worse than he usually does. Super good, very consistent, and super strong card. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. I hope you guys enjoyed this preview. I appreciate the support. Good luck out there, guys.